Welcome to US Bank Stadium, where your Minnesota Vikings will be hosting the Buffalo Bills and former wide receiver of the Vikings, Stefon Diggs. It'll be a fun homecoming for him. I think that he's already played a game back in Minnesota, or at least against Minnesota, since leaving the team. But we'll go ahead and just say this is another revenge game because I can't recall him playing in Minnesota, but like I said, very well could have happened. We'll have Saunders help lead the offense here in this game. We could tell from the stats, we've talked about it about week to week. He's had some highs, he's had some lows. We want to see a bit more of those highs. And in last week's game where we played against the Dallas Cowboys, at least the first half, forgot to hit the unpause button for the second half, but we won that game pretty handedly. Ended up not really missing much in the second half, but I will not be pausing the recording, and if for some reason I do, I will make sure that I unpause the recording in this game as we get a nice first run now from Dalvin. But so far this year, starting off pretty hot. Only lost one game. Granted, that one loss was an awful game, similar to the blocking on that play, as we got destroyed by the Jets in week 2. But since then, we've gone on a roll. Had some tight games, but always found a way to get the dub. And speaking of finding a way, we're going to need to find a way to get the first down here on 3rd and 14 following the sack. Going to have Saunders roll out here, and he's going to run for it, try to juke out the corner, ends up just knocking the ball out, goes right out of bounds, and we'll have a 4th and 3 at the 34. Now it looks like the offense is going to come out here, see if they actually end up going for it. Going to have a couple hard counts here by Saunders, and they are going to go for it. Saunders is running around. He breaks one sack but is brought down. That's going to be an early turnover on downs and really close to the end zone for the strong arm Josh Allen. You see, it has a pretty good, at least yards so far this year. Only 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, so not fantastic for him so far. Luckily for Allen and for us, we're only at about the halfway point of the season, so a lot to turn around from now, but hopefully he doesn't do that turning around, and we get the pick somehow. I don't know who had the ball. Somehow Joyner ends up with it. I thought it was Verrett, but somehow Joyner got the ball, and we will take right over. Not a turning around point for Josh Allen. Now 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Easy to say that so far in this game, neither offense starting off really hot. Let's just act like the first drives for both teams never happened. And we'll start here with a short run by Dalvin, only a gain of 1 on that first down play. Come out here in a play action. Looks like Buffalo is going to bring a bit of the blitz. We're going to find Flanagan at the sideline, and he is in. Going to bring us down to the 41-yard line. I knew after drafting Flanagan, I definitely wanted to get him on the field. However, I wasn't sure that he was going to take over as much as he did for Irv Smith, as again, we chucked the ball downfield, and he almost came away with that, but it is knocked away by the defensive backs for the Bills. But yeah, Flanagan has come in and really proven himself as a rookie. And the last rookie that really came in and shined at the tight end position, Kyle Rudolph, and he stayed around the Vikings for a long time before we ended up trading him over to the Giants. So let's hope we have a very similar productive career here for Flanagan as Rudolph. As so far, he's done pretty well, scoring in a majority of the games he started. We're going to go for Thielen on the sideline. He's at the 5 and is caught at about the 3-yard line. Come out here in our goal line set here. Looks like Saunders is pretty tired already in this game, and we've just gotten started. Gonna try to do a dive down the middle, only a gain of 2. We're gonna come out here, try to show a little love to our workhorse at fullback. Hand it off to CJ Ham, see if he could pound it in, and he is in. Give the big man some love. CJ Ham in for you, the first touchdown on the game. Vikings up 7-zip. Bills take the field after a one-play interception to a mix of both Joyner and Verrett, but Verrett ended up just giving Joyner the ball. They're going to go for a dump-off pass here. Gain of about 3 or 4 on first down. Taking a look out here, they do have Stefon Diggs on the left-hand side, the left receiver, so we'll need to keep an eye on him as they almost get a huge gain there on second down, but McCourty comes in and saves a big run for Devin Singletary. And, of course, we still are missing our number 1 defensive tackle in Michael Pierce. Linval Joseph is the main guy for the rundowns or base packages, like the 4-3 packages basically. In nickel, we are still seeing Lynch, our number 4 defensive tackle, come in for the pass rush situations. And that is exactly what we have here, and they find the gap in the coverage. They're right behind Harrison Smith, who came down to help with the 2 crossing patterns, and they find Davis, who had a fantastic playoff game in real life. Fortunately, the Bills didn't get the victory, but it was a fantastic end of the game there. But yeah, he had a great game and had a nice catch there on that play. The receiver that did not have a great game was Stefon Diggs, but we'll let him off. He's had some great games in the past and some great games as a Viking, and they're going deep. And we're going to hold the receiver for some reason. Not sure why Verrett did that, but that'll give them the first down. I think we're on the 15, 22. And with that penalty, it puts them about in the same field range as where they were last time when we had the turnovers on downs, and they threw a pick on the first play. We're going to kind of not want to tackle, but kind of tackle in the backfield on Singletary. Now, even though Anthony Barr is probably not playing about as much as he would hope to be, he is making some plays when he is out there. So we'll thank him for that as they go deep. Stefon Diggs in the comeback game here, spins out Joyner and is in the end zone. Gonna tie this game up 7-7. I also completely glossed over the fact that our first possession was not a score, either a touchdown or field goal, which is the first time that has happened this year. Of course, the second possession we had did go for a touchdown, but yeah, first time this year in, I believe it's week 9, that we did not score on our first possession. But we'll make sure to make up for that to score at least in these next 2 possessions. So we have a rollout pass here. And it looks like Saunders is going to follow behind Irv Smith, get a few yards, and get out of bounds. Now, Saunders has taken some hits already this game and in previous games, and because of that, it looks like his stamina is a little bit low as we get the first down here to Mackenzie Alexander. Not Mackenzie Alexander, Alexander Madison. Kind of close, but not really. Come out in the spread form here, and we're going to go deep to DJ Chark, who plays a bit of corner on that play as number 24 for the Bills is able to get back there and almost get the pick. Luckily, Chark does knock that pass away. Not too much blocking there on that play. Had a bit of a gap, but it closed quick. And come out here in the wide formation. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. We're going to go to that underneath receiver, DJ Chark, on the in route. Kind of thrown a little bit behind him, but thrown away from the defensive backs and linebackers for the Bills, giving us a first down on that third and I think it was 8 maybe? 3rd and long. I'm going to change up the formation slightly, bring Flanagan back out here. Osborne will head to the sidelines. And that's where we're going, right across the middle to Flanagan, who's done really well this year, especially being the rookie that he is. He's come in and filled in the spot at tight end that ended up being left by Conklin after he had a fantastic year last year for us. We're going to find Dalvin on the dump off here. Tried to get behind the block, but nice block shed there by Milano. However, we'll take the gain of 9 on first down. Vikings will come out here. 2 receivers to the right. Jefferson alone to the left. Flanagan at the end of the line of scrimmage. I'm going to kind of roll around here, not seeing anyone quite open. And he does find DJ Chark. Wasn't sure if he was in bounds. They're going to call him in. I believe that's his 2nd touchdown on the year. Came all the way across the field. He kind of stopped his route. Was worried it was going to end up being a pick, but he does get the touchdown, putting the Vikings up 14-7. And the Bills take the field after going down 14-7. However, their last drive, very successful. They end up finding Stefon Diggs for about a 20-yard touchdown pass. And they're going to start here going to their tight end, who stretches, and I believe he got the first down. And they're going to say you're going to need to try a little bit harder than that, giving them a 2nd and inches, even though the ball clearly to me looks like it's past the line to gain. But we'll take it as they get the quick pass off. Hunter was streaming towards the quarterback, but they get the ball out there to 11. Is that Beasley? Might be Beasley for him. I can't remember if he's still on the Bills or not at this point in time. They're going to get the out route there to Knox, and we just run right by him with the Joyner, who didn't cover very well. It might have been my fault. Might have been Joyner's. We'll leave that open. But they get a nice 20-yard rack after that catch. Now bringing them down to the 36-yard line, out in a I formation here. 2 receivers to the left, and it looks like it is going to be a pass or a dump off. Throw out of a sack, basically. Going to bring us a 2nd and 10. And that was probably the best stop that the Vikings have had in this drive, and most of the last drive as well. See if they could string together some good plays here. That kind of works. Kind of works. Eric Kendricks able to kind of tip that pass out of the hands of the receiver as he was trying to bring it in, trying to run a bit after the catch without securing the pass first. And there's another touchdown for Stefon Diggs on the corner route. And it looks like Lynch came up a bit injured on that play. He was our 4th defensive tackle, or last defensive tackle, following Tomlinson and Linval. And also Danielle Hunter injured on that. So down 2 linemen in 2 plays. And that is the update that we have on Lynch. Has a quadricep strain, so he will be out the rest of this game. We're just down to 2 defensive tackles. And here's the update we have on Danielle Hunter. Bruised shoulder. We're going to go ahead and take him out for a little bit. We're only halfway through this season, and we've had a lot of injuries on the defensive line. That seems to be a consistent theme with the Vikings, and something we definitely are going to look to address in the coming preseason, or offseason, as we do get a nice run there by Dalvin. As a quick look into the future, definitely want to look at the depth on this team, especially in some of the as Saunders luckily able to get that pass out to avoid the sack. But we are wanting to take a look at the depth all across the team here and really build up some solid depth, as the current depth leaves a little bit of room to be desired, as we get a nice pass to Thielen. It was in traffic, but you could always count on Thielen, and he gets the nice 30-yard reception. Now, Saunders has definitely taken some hits of recent. He's looking a little sluggish, a little tired out there, as Dalvin also looked pretty tired there. He just went to take a nap after running into his offensive line on that play. Loss of 3 on first down, and there was no blocking there. We're just going to chuck that ball out. He went right around the left tackle. And that was Christian Darrisaw that just got demolished on that play, bringing us a 3rd and long. We're going to roll out here, see if we could find anything. We're going to go deep to Flanagan, and he is in. Touchdown on that rollout pass. Used his big body frame to box out the corner, keep the feet in. Fantastic play by the young man. See, we get the second look here. Just boxes him out. Saunders does a nice job of keeping that ball on the outside, even while throwing on the run. Fantastic play for those 2 rookies. The Bills now take the field down 21-14. However, they've been able to put together some fantastic drives, finding Stefon Diggs for 2 touchdowns the last 2 times they've been out. They're going to go short here to Singletary. We're going to tackle them inbounds, force them to use their timeouts. After that first timeout, they are going to come out here, 2nd and 7. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. There we go, deep, or not deep again. Going to check it down again to Singletary. Again, we get him down inbounds, force that 2nd timeout. Bills now only have 1 timeout with 39 seconds left, and they're only on the 32-yard line. They got a bit to go. And they're just going to keep checking it down to Singletary, and we're going to take it. It's going to bring up a 4th and inches. And on that 4th and inches, looks like they're just going to bring the punt team out, let the clock drain down, and we'll head into halftime after they punt it. Not sure why they'll punt it, but we'll take it, I guess. Gain of maybe a yard at most, and we'll head into halftime. As we head into the locker room here, take a quick look at the stats. So far, Vikings up in everything, killing it in their running game, both on offense and defense. Pretty close in the passing game. Take a quick look at some of these games going on around the league. Bears and Lions, 10-14. Lions up with 4 seconds left before halftime. Looking like a pretty even game there between Kaepernick and Fields. And then moving down south, we got the Cardinals and the Buccaneers. Cardinals up big 21-10 with about 17 seconds left before halftime. Brady still going, touchdown and an interception. Kyler Murray, 2 touchdowns on the day. And then Green Bay and Washington over on the East Coast. Green Bay up 14-7 with a few seconds left before half. Packers have been able to stream together about, I think it's 5 consecutive wins after going 0-3 the first 3 weeks of the season, including a loss to us in week 1. And we will kick off the ball to start the second half. Your Vikings up 21-14. Gonna need some big plays by the defense. Force a turnover or at least just a punt on this first possession for the Bills. Get the ball back, go down and score again and widen this lead. And we see here that Hunter is back out there, and we have the big goon himself out still at the defensive tackle spot in the 4-3 formation. And due to the injuries to Lynch, which now limits our defensive tackle depth to no one, basically the guys that are out there are all that we have. Ibaka has also played some DT. We will have Linval Joseph out in the pass rush formations as well, as we get a nice stop there on second down. I believe it was about maybe a loss of 1. Maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage. It was pretty close, but a nice block shed there by Wanham, and he gets the tackle. And Wanham's been fairly intriguing this year. He's made some plays here and there. Definitely hasn't been extremely consistent or has given the style of play like Daniil, but has definitely had some big plays out there as the Bills get a nice big play here. Yet that is Beasley with the first down on 3rd and 8. The Vikings playing a little bit more of man coverage in this game than they have in previous games, trying to see if that will help them both stop the short pass and the deep pass as we get a nice run stuff there by Harrison Smith. And I don't know if you guys paid much attention to the thumbnail of the Dallas Cowboy game, but I thought the look that Harrison Smith had on his face after getting that sack fumble was so menacing. The grin that he had was just fantastic as they get another first down to the old man Cole Beasley on that play. And come out here still in the double A gap look. One of my favorite formations that the Vikings have on defense, as there is Wanham in the backfield. Loss of a couple on first down. But yeah, the defensive line is one that I definitely want to work on the depth during the offseason after the season ends, which hopefully will end in a Super Bowl victory. So far, we have been playing pretty well. Only lost 1 game this year, and the big goon is in for, I believe that's his first sack since we re-signed him. Gonna bring up a 3rd and 16. Definitely a passing formation. Kendrick's out there as the captain making some adjustments. And they got burned on that. I believe that was Harrison Smith trying to cover Stephon. We end up catching back up to him, bringing up a 3rd and 7. And they're going to go for about a 55-yard field goal, kicking from the 45. And that's wide right. Don't even need to worry about that one. Well, the defense did their job. We asked them to give us a turnover or a punt, and they forced a kind of a turnover on downs following the missed field goal. Dalvin runs through a man and then trips on a blade of grass. We come out here following that 9-yard run on first down for a little bit of some play action here. Gonna roll out. He's just gonna take the first down, get a few yards, get out of bounds. Don't want him to be taking any hits. He is a bit worn out. And speaking of worn out, typically don't show any of the pre-game weekly strategy setup game or anything like that, but Dalvin Cook doesn't practice. I basically have it backups only, so that way he could keep his injury and stamina up as highly efficiently as possible. Gonna get a nice block there by DeCastro to seal that linebacker, get a first down with Madison. And then everyone else, Saunders is he doesn't He's not the only quarterback that practices. I do actually practice Mund, as it seemed like the Vikings did not practice him last year. We almost are intercepted there. I believe that was Hyde that came over. But we're going to get the easy pass interference play, number 24. We've been picking on him recently. We're going to accept that penalty, give us a first down at the 2. But yeah, Dalvin doesn't practice, and then everyone else, we split the reps between the starters and the backups. We're going to go to Dalvin, and he stretches across after running into that defender trying to power through. They say he's in 15 touchdowns for Dalvin Cook on the season. As the Vikings go up 2 scores, 28-14. We're going to take a little time during this drive to talk a bit about the future of this series and what we're seeing for the Vikings as Devin Singletary gets a nice gain on first down for a first down. 8 carries, 20 yards. Not a great average, but got the first down right there. So this team, obviously this year, playing pretty well. Only lost 1 game. We're looking pretty hot following a hopefully not following a blunder in the second half of the season. You could say that we're probably in the lead for the NFC. But with this roster, we're in a win-now situation, which is why we went out during the free agent period and brought in a lot of older veterans as we get a sack with Danielle Hunter, adding another one to his tally. 20 on the season, and we're only halfway through. Like I was saying, we went out and we spent a lot of money on some vets, a lot of older guys. This is a fairly old roster. I think most of our high-end talent is all within about their 30s. We get a nice pass up there by Verrett. And the offense for the Bills takes the field on 4th down and 8. But yeah, the team all around is pretty old, which means we have a very small window of success. Nice pass break up there by Joyner, one of those older guys. So we are going for it all this first season. We might be able to press our luck with the next season, but after that, a lot of these older guys are going to be regressing or retire. So the team has a lot of building to do because the backups to this team are not good. As we saw in the preseason, the offense couldn't score and the defense couldn't stop anyone when the second team came out. So we have a lot of work that we need to do there, and that's all going to start happening in the following... Oh, what kind of... Was that a pitch to Dalvin? We're going to say that was a pitch to Dalvin. That was entirely planned by Saunders. Don't think that was an awful fumble because he tried to dive instead of slide, because I'm still used to the old Madden X button where you hold it down to slide versus tapping it to slide. That was completely planned. But yeah, the team has a lot of building to do to get ready for when the older guys start to retire, which is going to start happening soon. We had a linebacker bump Jefferson off of his route there, broke up the timing on that. So while this team is having a lot of success now, I would definitely say that there's going to be a steep decline in the total overall talent as we get a decent run there from Nwangwu on second down. I would expect probably not this next season, although we will start to see it a bit next season, but the year after that, a lot of the guys that we've known and kind of grown with as the Vikings. We're going to go to the corner of the end zone, and Jefferson taps his feet in. Vikings score again, putting them up 3 touchdowns in about midway through the 4th quarter. And of course, the booth is trying to ruin our day. But we know we saw the toe tap. We saw Justin Jefferson do what he's supposed to do, but we'll take another look at it. Boom, right there. Toe tap in, and we're picking on 24. 24 is not having a great game today. But yeah, there's going to need to be a lot of work done to this team within the next couple years. The defensive back group all needs to be reworked. We only really have one young guy out there. We have talent out there, but it's all guys who are 29 and older. I believe Verrett is the youngest at 29. All the other ones are about 30 to 33. So a lot of work needs to be done in the defensive back department. Harrison Smith with a pick, continuing his streak of dominance the last few games. And as well as the defensive backs, the linebackers are going to need to be reworked. Again, I mean, they're playing great right now with Harrison Smith having that pick, Eric Kendricks. But besides them, Anthony Barr is already regressing. Those two are set to regress as well. And there's no depth underneath them that has any sort of a positive talent trend that we've seen from them. So that group's going to need to be reworked. And the defensive line as well. You have Daniil and Wanham, who you could probably play for a little bit. But besides them, the defensive tackles, another group that's going to need to be reworked. And then past the starters of the defensive ends, you have no depth guys there that are going to perform very well. The youngest guy you have out there is Wanham, who has some talent, can stick around for a while, but depth-wise, you don't have anything. Jump over to offense. You have a decent offensive line who is aging, so they're not going to be around for a long time. We have a guy in the corner. That one's definitely not in, and there's a flag as well. That's going to be out of bounds. Yeah, looks like Irv Smith stepped out before catching that pass, which is really unfortunate for him because that's one of the few times he's had the options to kind of shine there, and is one of the reasons that we ended up going with Flanagan, just because he's not making the plays. As there was a nice rush there by Nwangwu breaking a tackle and getting a few more yards. And normally I'll go ahead and kick the field goal here, but Madden said go for it. So we're going to go for it, and we're going to run a fullback dive right down the middle. CJ Ham was close, and they're going to give the ball to the Bills. It was a close one, but we're up big, so might as well try it. Why not? You know, the offense is going to need a lot of work. You're gonna have Dalvin for a few more years in his prime. So you're good at running back. Receiving core, you do have Justin Jefferson, and he will be good and dominant for a long time. But unfortunately, Adam Thielen's getting a bit older. We haven't seen anything too spectacular from Chark, and he is already 25 as Beasley gets another great grab, but there is a flag on the play. And that's going to negate the play from Beasley. We're going to accept that, bringing it to a 2nd and 14. But yeah, unfortunately, Adam Thielen getting older, and then underneath him, again, DJ Chark hasn't really proven anything. But we've seen some decent play from Osborne, but he's fairly lowly rated, only, I believe, a 72 as we head into the 2-minute warning here. But yeah, Osborne's only, I think, like a 72 overall, and he's already 25 years old. Underneath him, you have Smith Marset. Haven't seen him do really much at all, so wouldn't say there's much talent underneath in terms of young talent there, so need to build that up. And so we have another flag on that. And they're just shooting themselves in the foot today, making that a 3rd and 15. Offensive line is okay. They're getting a bit older. Also, none are super highly rated, so could definitely use some talent there and at least some backups, as we are going to get the ball to I said we, but they're going to get the ball to Stephon Diggs, and this time there aren't any flags on that play. We're going to see a lot of passing from the Bills in the last couple minutes here. Big hit by Smith, but no fumble forced this time. But yeah, we need to just really work on depth all over the team. The depth on the team is not very good. Danielle Hunter, just kidding, he's going to flop down. They're going to chuck it deep. Dantzler decides to swat at the air. Beasley with the big catch. Definitely been their biggest target of the game. However, he doesn't have the touchdown. Stephon Diggs has the touchdowns. Broken tackle there on Dantzler. He's not much of a tackle guy. A little bit slow, which is one of the concerns as they take one of their timeouts here late in the 4th. You know, Dantzler has shown some promise, but the issue right now is we're playing him at the slot cornerback spot. And the issue with the slot spot is Dantzler's not a very good tackler, as he does get the tackle there. But his tackle rating, I think, is like a 50-something. So really, it's not that high. He's not that good at it. So you'd want him to play more of the outside. But he only has 88 speed. Another sack there by Daniil, making it 21 on this season. But yeah, no, he only has 88 speed. I think maybe 89 acceleration. So he's not a very fast guy. And that's going to be a liability in coverage, especially with some of the speedsters out there at the receiving spot. So as much as I would like to keep him around because he is a young guy with some talent, there's a nice swat there. Going to get the pick. Joyner trying to make a play. Gets to about maybe the 8-yard line before being tackled. But this game is a wrap. Vikings win 35-14. We're going to end the game on a high, too, with the third interception for Joyner on the year. And following that win, we're going to jump up to 8-1 on the season. And we were talking a bit about we're talking a lot about the roster and that later part of the game. So I'm going to pull up the roster and kind of show you a bit of what I'm referring to. So obviously we're going to go a little bit through position by position. Quarterback, we're pretty set on. Dwight Saunders has had a fantastic year. He's 22. We have Mund as the backup, 23. So that'll be good for a few years. We'll see if we end up signing Mund to a extension. But for now, he's a backup. I wouldn't say he's a decent backup, as we saw in the preseason, but he's a backup. Running backs, we're pretty solid on. The question is, do we sign Alexander Mattison to an extension? He's been a great backup for Cook. Do we continue that, or do we let him shine somewhere else because he has the potential to? Fullback, we have CJ Ham. He's 29. He's getting older, and I probably won't sign him after his extension or after his current contract is over. He's making quite a bit of money as a fullback. I could typically find guys who could do the job for a bit cheaper, and that's typically the method that I go with. So CJ Ham has been great, but probably won't continue after his contract. So that's one position that we need to fill. Receiving, Justin Jefferson, only 23 and is 92 overall. He's going to be great for years to come. Adam Thielen is 32. He's only an 86 right now. That's going to regress every season. So, unfortunately, there is going to come the time where Adam Thielen either retires or we end up not really signing him, or he is just a depth guy. Past him, take a look at all of our receivers. DJ Chark, he is an 81 overall. He's 25. Hasn't shown to be a fantastic receiver. We've gotten some deep shots with him, but he can never get those into the end zone. KJ Osborne has shown splashes of being a pretty decent receiver, but he's already 25 and he's only 73 overall. Olabisi Johnson hasn't shown any splashes of being anything. He's 25 and only 70 overall. Amir Smith-Marset, 68 overall and 23, so he's really never going to progress into a high overall player. Would always be some sort of depth player, and we'll keep him around for that. Past his contract, not sure. We'll need to see what his stats are. He just doesn't see the field very often. At the tight end position, Irv Smith Jr. is technically our number one tight end, but he hasn't played like it. So we've been playing Flanagan in his spot. Flanagan will be our tight end for the future. Past him, we have Michael Lucas, who we drafted in the same draft as Flanagan, and he's been a pretty good blocking tight end for us, and that's his role. Blocking tight end, comes in on the big tight end package, and that's about it. So we'll end up needing to add another tight end after Irv Smith leaves into the free agency this year. Offensive line, you have young Christian Darrisaw, is 23, will be 24 after this season, only a 77 overall. And my issue with Darrisaw is that he's not a very balanced player. He plays tackle, but he's a run blocker. So if anything, he might need to move down to guard and we find a new tackle, as his pass blocking ratings really aren't that great. We have Ezra Cleveland, who's 24, will be 25, and he's been replaced this year. The last couple games, we've been starting the rookie center in his place. He's not a bad player, but he's all run block and really no pass blocking, and we need that balance. So he might be a guy that we inevitably trade, or he goes into free agency. We do have 2 more years with him, or this is his 3rd year, so we have another year with him after this year. We might end up trading him. So we'll see what happens there. He might have a spot opened up to him if we jump over to the right guard spot with David DeCastro, who's 32. He will regress after this year, so we'll see what we end up doing there. I believe we only signed him, DeCastro, to a 1-year contract, so he might be gone. Past him, we have Udo, who we did not like in the first season, so we ended up drafting and signing. So we signed DeCastro to play over him. We also drafted Dalton Smith, who's been playing over Cleveland at the left guard position. We've kept Bradbury in just because Bradbury has higher statistics or ratings than Cleveland. But Bradbury's going to be 28, and he's only a 79 overall. So Smith might just inevitably take Bradbury's spot, and we find another guard or another tackle and move Darrisaw into guard. Those are some of the options we have on the offensive line. Right tackle, you have Brian O'Neill. He's only 26, 84 overall. We're solid. We're good there. We did draft Travis Clayton a little bit by accident, but he's a good depth tackle for us. When it comes to the defensive side, we have Daniil. He's 27, 93 overall. He'll be good for probably 4-ish years post this season. So we're good there, but past him, Janarius Robinson's only 66 overall, going to be 25. That's not good enough. At right end, we have DJ Wanham. He's 76 overall. He will be 25. He's shown splashes, but he's not as highly rated as I would like for him to be. But on the other side of Daniil, he's done fairly well. We signed Ibukum. I'm never really sure exactly how to pronounce your name. Samson, if you're watching, I am sorry. But yeah, 27 overall, 27 age, will be 28 after the season. 76 overall, decent depth, not going to be a long-term depth guy. Patrick Jones the second, 66 overall, will be 24, kind of the same as Robinson over on the other side. He has some potential to get there, but he's never going to really get there. Defensive tackles, they're all pretty old. So Michael Pierce after this season will be 30. Most likely he's going to regress. Dalvin Tomlinson, already going to be 29, only 80 overall. He's probably going to regress as well. Linval Joseph, who we signed due to the injuries, he's already been regressing, will continue to regress. He's not a long-term solution, but has played okay coming in for us. Armin Watts will be 27, only 71 overall. Not good enough, and he won't be returning next year. We're not going to re-sign him. James Lynch, going to be 24, 69 overall. Really not great depth. His block shedding's only 71, his strength only 86, and that's with a +4 with our coaching staff. So not good enough for what I need for my defensive tackles. We'll eventually upgrade over him. Linebacking core, Harrison Smith is 33 years old. He will regress. We did sign Eric Wilson, I believe, for 2 years. Will be 28, 75. That's the kind of depth that I want. Past him, Conley, only 69, will be 27. Not good enough. He will be replaced. Eric Kendricks is 30. He's just under 90 overall. He'll probably be able to stick around for about a year or two post this season. Underneath him, Troy Dye, 69 overall, will be 26. Not good enough. Will be replaced. Anthony Barr, same situation, already regressing, 30. He's 30 years old. He'll need to be replaced. Past him, Chaz Surratt will need to be replaced. So the whole linebacking core basically is either regressing or will need to be replaced. The corners, kind of the same thing. Jason Verrett, who I was wrong, it's Poole that was the younger one. Verrett, 31, only 83. He's going to regress, need to be replaced. Brian Poole, 29, will be 30, only 80 overall, will need to be replaced. Dantzler, now I have a love and a hate relationship with Dantzler. He's 6'2", he has the tall frame, he only weighs 188 pounds, so he's not a strong guy. And you can see that when you look at his ratings. His tackling, 52. His block shedding, 49. As a slot corner, that doesn't work. But his speed, acceleration, and agility, being 88, 89, and 86, is the skills set of a slot corner. Yeah, so he has the speed and acceleration and agility of a slot corner, but doesn't have the tackling or block shedding for it. He does have some press ability, which is nice. It's what I look for, but the speed doesn't match. So not sure what we're going to do with Dantzler. Past him, Miles Bryant hasn't played well. We signed him in free agency during the preseason. Chris Boyd has played awful. Harrison Hand has played awful. They'll need to be replaced. When we look at our safeties, we have Devin McCourty this year. He's 35 years old. Somehow has kept his speed. He's played well for us, but he's going to regress, if not retire. So he's going to need to be replaced. Cameron Bynum really hasn't done a whole lot to prove that he could play. If we look at his ratings, he's pretty slow for a free safety. His cover ratings aren't really there, so not much to go off with. We'll probably be replaced, if not kept as a backup for a little bit. At strong safety, we signed LaMarcus Joyner when we moved Harrison Smith down to linebacker. He's 31 years old. He's already pretty slow, 77 overall. He'll need to be replaced. Metellus is not a safety. He is a linebacker. I'll show you when I look at the ratings. 87 speed, and 90 acceleration. So it'd be a very fast linebacker. His tackle's a 76, hit power 80, but he can't cover and he can't shed blocks. So he's a poor run-stopping linebacker. He's definitely not a safety, and he will need to be replaced. We signed Young Hoku, so we're good at kicker for the next few years. Punter, it doesn't fully matter. We have a good punter right now, for sure, but we don't really need him, so he could be replaced at a later date if needed. But that's kind of the state of the roster. You can see here are the picks that we have. We have a first, second, third, 2 fourths, 3 6s, and a 7. So we have a lot of picks to build up some depth, which is what we're going to need to do, just due to the fact that the last GM and head coach didn't develop talent and really didn't bring in much talent in terms of depth, which is going to be the opposite of what we are going to do. And as we sim on over to the next week, following that Bills victory, 35-14, we will be playing against another New York team, the New York Giants, who are 4-4 on the season. Their overall ratings are fairly similar to us, but we've been playing obviously well above them, or above our ratings. And we're still leading the NFC North up 2 games. We're 8-1. The next one up would be the Packers at 6-3, who we will be playing in week 13 after our bye week, and hopefully we'll come out with a lot better of a team than the Vikings normally do after a bye week. Considering all the changes we made, I think that'll be easy for us to do. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, all that fun stuff. Let me know that you're enjoying these, because I am enjoying bringing these to you guys. But yeah, until next time, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.